It was a steady barrage of bullshit thrown at me. In less than a minute's time, I was committed all in, shoving my time, talent, reputation, and even my life to the middle, in what truly feels like a high-stakes, no-limit game of Texas Hold'em poker. A strong message hurled right back at a clearly broken system. A system designed to be comprised of the highest integrity and fairness, the last preventative stop block, and the way keeping good from being completely overtaken by evil. In a moment's notice, I made an extremely bold, pivotal move demonstrating defiance in the absence of fear, while bolstering confidence in the presence of conviction. A complete refusal to back down, and a refusal to negotiate. Way too much has been lost over the past few years, quite frankly extorted and stolen from me. That number continues to climb, and no end is in sight. The only remedy, the only option left, was to fight with all my dedication and might, especially when intentional attacks against me worsened, simply for defending myself, gathering evidence of wrongdoing, and asking the right questions, while continuing to be in the right place at the right time. These people have known exactly what they were doing the entire time, and I don't doubt that for a second. The manipulation and destruction of our long-standing Constitution is downright repugnant and offensive that society as a whole haven't stepped up and banded together by force and numbers to prevent further damage. After all, in December of 2007, I swore an oath to my country that I would support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I would bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I would obey all orders of the President of the United States. The sworn oath I took had no expiration date. It's gravely concerning that the state government has refused to provide oversight over its agencies and its courts, denying a citizen, a Marine Corps veteran, the equal protections under the laws that govern and always have governed our nation as a whole. Am I the only one out there that truly grasps the frightening reality of everything that's happening? The fact that if they would go to all these extents, expending the money, time, and effort to attack, destroy, and suppress a USMC veteran, that nobody is no longer truly safe and protected. A corrupt, entitled, and demanding chunk of the population, whom I have no doubt would easily crash our economy and install a totalitarian-style government in record-breaking time. That's where fellow patriots, veterans, three-percenters, oath keepers, and militias come into play. America's insurance policy. The past 3 years have been an absolute nightmare that I've been unable to wake up from. Up until I witnessed everything firsthand myself, I'd always believed the most sinister public corruption scandals and organized crime were reserved for those well-known, politicians, or the rich and famous. The past 3 years of my life, however, have produced some of the most shocking of occurrences. Absolute incredible amounts of organized crime, racketeering, extortion, public corruption, deprivation of rights, legal interference, custodial interference, conspiracy, contempt, more contempt, even systemic organized kidnapping make up this extreme hell of a nightmare. It's been my life. I now find myself in 5 ongoing court battles, of which include 2 Supreme Court appeals and a $10 million federal lawsuit filed December 11, 2020 against the city of Olive Branch in the state of Mississippi. That number of ongoing concurrent court battles could easily double at any time, and is nowhere in sight, if it even ever comes. It gives off all feelings of a modern-day David versus Goliath, especially when taking into consideration that I'm still standing on my 2 feet against the state government and its obstructionist agencies without so much as an attorney representing me, yet having concrete evidence in a refusal to back down. I've learned to trust my gut, never back down when it comes to an issue of conviction and surety, especially when everything's on the line after everything else was lost due to the dramatic, life-changing impact caused by their malice hands. This is a level of evil intricacy that exceeds that of any John Grisham book I've ever read, and that is a bit intimidating when I begin to piece every puzzle piece to this criminal racket undoubtedly controlled by deep state involvement. The media is refusing to cover it, despite all undoubtable evidence, so they clearly are controlled. I've got a long, lengthy list of every outlet that regularly looks at the new evidence and new court filings, yet refuse to cover it, showing complicity in the massive fraud currently ongoing by ways of suppression. The FBI has refused to cooperate in complying with a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request, which was submitted in April of 2020 requesting the 302 investigative report, or any report for that matter, which would have been generated May 25, 2017, when I had sat down with two agents at the field office in Oxford, Mississippi at the recommendation and advisement of an assistant U.S. attorney, Bob Norman, whom you'll commonly hear me refer to throughout Riding with the Outlaw as Blowhard Bob. What's even more alarming is the fact that the public information officer for the FBI actually just admitted via email that they could not locate the report generated by me sitting down with two FBI agents on May 25, 2017, the day before I was ambushed on the square in Oxford, Mississippi. Of course, they claim the video evidence would have been erased by now, but that's only the start of this complete insanity. On May 24, 2017, Assistant U.S. Attorney Bob Norman had recommended that I sit down with the FBI due to a death threat I received, as well as who would become the soon-to-be incoming Mayor Robin Tannehill and her husband Ray taking out a cheap shot bullshit injunction on me on the 22nd of May, which barred me from a pre-scheduled speaking engagement at City Hall on June 6, 2017, coincidentally the day of the mayor's election. Now, when adding in the evidence hidden or destroyed by the Sheriff's Department and sealed by the county attorney in regards to the May 24, 2017 phone call received by Jared Bundren, which by their own admission stemmed the warrant, what you have is a complete shit show full of dereliction from agencies and the government clearly scrambling to cover their own tracks. All of everything stemming from the extreme liability the state decided to load itself up on due to an insanely crazy witch hunt that stretched out for 3 years. Oh, by the way, 3 weeks from now will mark 1 year not seeing my 6-year-old daughter Lydia, in retaliation by her mother, Liz Crowder, getting caught up in a nasty rabbit hole conspiracy and a failed attempt to falsely frame me for rape at the end of 2018. I'm retaliated against due to her being picked up on a year-old warrant for the crime of making a false report of rape. It would appear in the reality of some that they feel entitled to report false crimes, destroy lives, separate families, and manipulate courts and judges through an inter-networking channel of attorneys using pay-for-play as their get-out-of-jail-free card. The crazy part here was that while I was the victim in the crime, it was the Olive Branch Police Department that charged her with the crime and pursued her, not me. In my opinion, they really misfired on this one, shooting from the hip, because a misdemeanor making false report charge is nowhere near appropriate when it comes to someone falsely claiming another raped them. All in all, it was an insult to have given up freedoms and liberties just to prove she was lying and had indeed planned this out. I feel cheated in a big way for the real crime to not be charged, criminal conspiracy, especially after she admitted on a recorded call that her husband played a big part in everything. I also had hoped that we as a society would have moved past the Me Too, vagina hat wearing, feminazi era after the successful appointment of Justice Brett Kavanaugh to the United States Supreme Court when he prevailed against his false accusers. I'm speaking from firsthand knowledge as a victim to it, that it is no doubt one of the biggest stains on American freedoms and values, along with being one of the biggest drains and scams in society, only to be topped by the 2020 election, COVID-19, Hillary Rodham Clinton, and Barack Hussein Obama. I believe someone who falsely reports a serious sex crime such as that or molestation should be sentenced worse than the crime they falsely accuse. Otherwise, there's no true deterrent to put an end to it, and the credibility of true victims is forever dwindled down, making them fear coming forward. Not to mention the actual victim's life that would likely forever be destroyed, if not killed in jail, before ever having the chance to prove they were falsely accused. The life-altering damage that a single vengeful false allegation stemming an arrest can cause is unsurpassable. As the victim of false allegations multiple times over the past 3 to 4 years due to the precedent set, and allowing the individual to get away with it the first time has directly created this systemic issue that the true blame needs to be placed on the state government for being culpably negligent in allowing this nonsense to go on and further preventing the victim equal protections under the laws of the state of Mississippi. Legislation overhaul is badly needed, further paving way to certain reforms in the criminal justice system, which at this point are mandatory. I would say that anyone who doesn't agree with that after assessing all evidence and all the criminal wrongdoing that the current legislature and criminal justice system has caused is clearly a big part of the problem continuing to cause this major problem. So in retaliation, she sets off on a journey. Despite scamming me out of the majority of my passive income due to a 4-year-old child support agreement that was created at a time when my income was much higher, approximately 5 times what it is now. Meanwhile, the municipal court of Olive Branch couldn't have made a more reckless call in further victimizing the victim to the fullest and denying him equal protections of the laws. The judge in this case, Leslie Shoemake, outrageously gave her 30 days in jail for her failed attempt to not only frame me for rape, but she even admitted on a recorded phone call to it being something that she had co-conspired with her husband, and he was never charged. Judge Shoemake allowed her to plead no contest with an intention to contest her plea or the sentence via appeal. How is someone allowed to contest a no contest plea in the first place? When she submitted her appeal 2 weeks late and the circuit court denied it, sent it back to municipal court in order for the sentence to be executed, this liberal judge permanently did away with the jail sentence given so long as she paid the $1,209.25 fine in full. My $600 per month in child support likely helped pay for that, I'm sure. So the city of Olive Branch stood to financially gain at the complete loss of the victim.
Mr. Reardon, I'm going to give you a warning one time and one time only. The next time you call up here, the next time you give anybody in my staff a hard time, I'm going to have you arrested for contempt of court. You're not to come up here. When you call up here, you're not here after me to rape it.
Your Honor, how did I do that?
Be quiet, sir. I understand you want to discuss something with me. Let's hear it. What do you want to discuss with me?
I was simply trying to inquire on the outcome of my ex. She falsely accused me of rape. You've created a monster,
Please,
Your Honor.
take him on back. Take him on back to the back. Go to the back, sir. I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. Take him on back.
Your Honor, I was just trying to address this.
All right, sir, let's go. Come on. You want to go on your own?
Go back.
Your Honor, please. My wife is outside. My wife is outside.
Hey, April, is Alan Wilburn nearby?
Hello?
Alan Wilburn.
Yes.
It's Matt Reardon.
Okay.
Hey, I'm outside. I was going to see if you had that, if you had that evidence.
I do not, because your case has been, you plead guilty, so all that stuff is in a file, and we no longer look back at it.
You do realize the burden of proof shifts to you if I bring a lawsuit for your libelous comments, correct? What do you think about the fraud over there at Circuit Court?
The what?
The fraud at Circuit Court.
What do you got about fraud?
So, I caught them changing records. Up there. Luckily, I had the screenshots. Uh-oh. Sunlight. There you go.
A lot of stuff going on in Oxford. A lot of stuff going on in Buffalo County.
Son, you back. Full crank.
Get freedom. And it's free. It comes with a price tag. Yeah, you know who it is. Might been cold for a little while. Keystone Kid, Kilo Jones, F. Mills, why they call me the outlaw. All the time, reminded bribes, blow, racketeer, pay for play, you filthy Democrat. Another one, just for fun, I think it's him, he's back again. Oh shit, it's Matt.
Hey, Al. How you gonna tell me you destroyed the evidence? But you're gonna lie to the Oxford Eagle. You're gonna lie to the Oxford Eagle and then tell me you destroyed the evidence. How you gonna lie to the Oxford Eagle and then destroy the damn evidence? You didn't lie when you said that I threatened your life. You didn't lie to them when you said that I threatened your life. You didn't lie to them when you said I steadily drove. I'm the liar. I'm the liar. Okay, where's the evidence to back up your frivolous, silly, lame-ass claims? Huh? Okay, but you said that I steadily drove by their place and put them in fear of their life. You're a joke. You're a damn joke. And what you like getting spoiled over just fake ass lies like that. Hell no, I ain't letting it go. He wouldn't let it go. Marine Corps veteran, I wrote a blank check to our government for an amount of my life to protect and defend the Constitution against shit like that. No, that's the thing. I got the evidence. This is a framed crime against, and y'all think it's just a joke. That's why you just looked away smiling?
All this person, nobody got to talk about like that.
Right, me a thing.
Oh, that's
so that's what it's about now? Y'all wanna, you wanna make it worse? Then it's already been. I've already lost my economic opportunity. I've been attacked 10 ways to Sunday, and then you want to talk about I shouldn't be mad? Y'all come out here as a crew, not one of you truly understand what it's like. I found fraud at Circuit Court. They're changing records. They're steadily trying to play cover up. He's destroying evidence. It's ridiculous.
Have you contacted an attorney about any of that?
That's the thing. Ray Tannehill. It all goes up to the top, to the mayor's office. It's funny that Ray Tannehill gets appointed by the Supreme Court to the Mississippi Bar Tribunal. You know, coincidentally, the people that you complain to if it's a bad attorney, I was misrepresented. Well, none of the attorneys will have anything to do with me, and I know it's because of influence. You go to writingwiththeoutlaw.com and go to mattreardon.com. Look at all the freaking, I mean, it's indisputable. It's indisputable. There's fraudulent concealment going on. There's the May 24th phone call, which is what, Jared Bunder got the warrant from. Nobody will tell me who made the call. I know it came from the top. That's why, because honestly, the covenant to not sue, Lafayette County, the Sheriff's Department, all that, the county would have been perfectly fine had they not have fraudulently concealed and refused to produce the information requested on a public information request, which is that. Now the covenant to not sue is kind of out the window because now I have a reason to sue. Until they did that, I was kind of stuck by the covenant to not sue they made me sign. So it has to be somebody really important that made the call. And all evidence points to the Tannehills. See, the funny thing is, 22nd, they took out an injunction on me. I get hunted down on the 23rd, 24th. Mysterious phone call comes in. The 25th, I meet with the FBI. They will not produce the 302 request from the sit-down meeting on the 25th. 26th, I get ambushed. I'm supposed to get 48 hours in jail before I get a bond hearing. I'm held for 96. Nobody's given any kind of explanation for that.
96 days, not a bond
96 hours. So 4 days. 4 days. You have to go before a judge within 2. It was 4 days before I went before Judge Bell, Carolyn Bell. She refused to let me address the court to show that I had a bill of sale proving I didn't purchase the AR-15 until May 20th. They allege on or before May 8th. I used that AR-15 to put the lynches in fear of their life. But I was going to their bar every day pretty much up until the 19th of May. Why would I put them in fear of their life? I don't even know where they live. And then, it's the craziest witch hunt ever. It's destroyed my life over lies.
Well, none of us out here personally work on your case.
No, I know.
So we don't know anything about your case as far as that goes.
I just want to find answers. I'm doing my due diligence as afforded to me by my rights in order to, with the few rights I have left, in order to seek vindication and to hold the responsible, parties accountable that are the true criminals. Because I'm going to tell you, if they could do it to me, the government could do it to me, a Marine Corps veteran who, pledged a lifetime oath to our country to protect and defend it, they could do it to anybody. And that's the scary part. They do it to somebody that freaking pledged their life to our country. I was a airframe and hydraulic mechanic. I was, unfortunately, I never deployed. I was in a non-deployable squadron. It was BMAT 203. It was 4 years. From the end of 2007 when I joined in December, and I got out in 2011. I got out for alcohol rehabilitation failure. There were 2 gruesome suicides. One of them it was June. It was at Camp Devil Dog, the Marine Combat Training that I was in. That was the last time that they allowed live rounds on Armory Watch. The dude found out that his girlfriend back home was Dear Donning him, and yeah, I went to rehab while I was in the Marine Corps, and then after rehab, I had strict orders for me not to drink, and fuck no, hell no. Do I sound like I'm under the influence? Am I making any kind of weird movements like I'm under the influence? I think you would be pretty pissed off, like I said. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I'm trying to find out why. The Oxford Eagle article, there were millions of splinters sent through this area based on lies. Alan Wilburn's in the Oxford Eagle article saying that I would drive by their place and I threatened their life multiple times. Yet, there's no proof. I never once threatened anybody. I've always claimed to be a patriot. I would never put anybody in harm's way. I would protect innocent people, my family, myself. That would be the only time I would engage somebody. But, I just simply want to know, where's his proof for saying that? How's he going to he's been doing this stuff for long enough. He should know better. He should use the word allegedly. Okay? In something that's currently going on, the word allegedly. You don't actually say in fact something to the media unless you actually have proof. And he knows that. And I'm asking him for his proof because that's what a lot of people are going on. and spreading their lies, and he doesn't have it. Imagine your name just freaking ripped to shreds. And you got Sleepy right here.
See, Matt, this is where when you were being tried for crime,
I wasn't tried. Look, that's what I was trying to tell you. Judge Bell gave me a $150,000 bond, okay? 4 days after I was arrested, knowing that I couldn't afford that, okay? No. I sat in jail for 6 weeks. I kept trying to get a bail reduction hearing. The guidelines established by the Supreme Court say for a crime up to 10 years. And see, aggravated... Huh? No. I was given 5 years. I was given 5 years supervised probation. Yeah.
your attorney could have filed for a motion of discovery.
He didn't. My attorney was part of the problem. That's why I'm so angry. My attorney was part of the problem. He told me to if I didn't plea out, that they were going to throw the book at me. They were going to railroad me with a whole bunch of other charges, made up charges, get a guaranteed conviction so they could send me to Parsons. And so I could either plea out and take the banishment and leave Oxford and Lafayette County for 5 years, surrender my guns. My daughter lives over here, and she's been used as a wedge to the court the entire time. She was used as a wedge to the court then to manipulate a favored outcome. Huh? What did I do? Yeah. I took the advice of my attorney because I wasn't getting a bond reduction hearing. And a presumably innocent person sitting in jail for 6 weeks, not given the opportunity to get a bond that he could afford to get out. Because the same, no.
It sounds like you need to come and talk to your attorney, like he's lieutenant.
But there's people in this county. No, my attorney is part of the problem. He's the most corrupt thing of all. I don't have anything to do with it. With what money?
Well, coming up here
Harassed him? Yeah. No. What has happened to me? What has happened to me has been complete, absolute hell. And so what I'm doing is what I'm constitutionally allowed to do.
Matt, the North Mississippi Rural Legal Service
can't.
Why?
Because of my ex, the one that's used my daughter against me in court. She has Christy McCoy. She put a false rape accusation against me back in November of 2018. She just went to court. She just got sentenced to 30 days because they treated it as a misdemeanor for filing a false rape accusation. Because Christy McCoy is the attorney over there at Rural Legal Services. I can't go to them for anything because of conflict of interest.
Have you tried a different county to see if they have a rural
I've called so many different attorneys, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I used to have about $8,000 a month of residual coming in before everything happened in 2017. I just got a $10,000 payout on that, and then boom, I get freaking framed for a crime I didn't commit. I'm sitting in jail. My residual income steadily dwindling. Now it's down to about $1,500 a month, and my ex takes $600 of it. And I haven't even seen my child since January. It's kidnapped. This is organized crime. It's RICO. It's got RICO written all over it.
Well, we can't.
I know, but I want you to know, when you see me, when I'm trying to get to the bottom of something, it's because I have a legitimate reason. You know, the freedom of the press shall not be abridged. Okay? And that's what I feel like I'm doing. There have been people that have said I'm going about it the wrong way with riding with the outlaw, but I'm certain of my wrongness if I'm wrong. Okay? Because I'm tired of there being...
What's riding with the outlaw?
It's the live documentary.
Oh, okay. Well, ultimately, I don't think you're going to get the answers you're looking for coming up here talking to the major as far as a 4 or 5 year old.
The major's a coward.
It's a 4 or 5 year old case.
No, it's a 3-year-old case.
3-year-old case. However, at the end of the day,
I was also blocked from coming back to town until a few months ago. Okay, so, and I have every right to. I have every right to. Look what happened to me. The major is a coward. He is an absolute coward.
Well, that's your personal opinion, but it's not going to solve the problem. No, this not. You're going to have to get legal representation to solve the problem, because you're not going to get the answers you're looking for out of him. If the case is over, I mean, it's a fact. You pled guilty to it, so, I mean, we don't sit here and reminisce on old cases and just open up the file and say, oh, look what this.
I know it's easy for you to say because your economic opportunity wasn't destroyed. You didn't have millions of lies spread throughout the area and surrounding areas about you. You didn't have your family completely destroyed over it. All right, so yeah, that's easy to say.
If you come about it the right way,
I've tried to.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't love to talk to you.
No, I caught him red-handed yesterday.
All this like you did last week. Nobody's going to talk to you right
I caught him red-handed yesterday. And that was when he told me today that he doesn't have the evidence. When he knew all along there was no evidence because I never did it. So, you know what? It's about time that people get held accountable for the crimes they commit. The system is unjust. It's unequal. The laws are applied unequally. And it's about time that shit changed.
Well, man, honestly, it's nothing personal. If some other person came up here and said, hey, I pled guilty to a case 3 years ago, you want to get that evidence. This
area has known that they framed me. There's no doubt about it. They have known, they have played a part in it, and they have benefited from it. They have personally found benefit from it.
Oh.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. They used that as a publicity stunt back in May of 2017. May and June. You got to look at and then look at the dates on everything. Look at the dates on everything. Tannehill gets elected mayor June 6th. Okay, that was exactly a week, 7 days after my bond hearing. They did that because they knew that I wouldn't be able to get in front of a judge to get my bond reduced in time to get out, to bring the information. No, she was already set. She was already set to come on. She knows, they know that they already violated the law by coming after me for constitutionally protected activity. You look at the restraining order that they took out on me back in May of 2017. The stuff listed in there, it's not criminal. No, I'm saying that was the preliminary injunction that Ray Tannehill took out representing his wife, Robin. That was when y'all... No. I went and met with the FBI because he was part of the problem with keeping my daughter away from me, and they also took out that emergency injunction to bar me from speaking at City Hall on June 6th, the day of her election. I was on the agenda. I'm listed. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I can't remember because it's been a while.
No, May 1st, Timmy Pruitt arrested me standing in front of the Confederate statue.
What is the thing about Ray?
The thing about Ray was May 16th. I spoke out at City Hall. Pat Patterson wouldn't let me speak. He said I had to put my name on the agenda for the next meeting. I said I'm going to address this session anyways. And see, they knew that I was going to speak. They had Oxford Police Department officers sitting right beside me the whole time. I wasn't there to hurt, cause any harm to anybody, but I was addressing the government. I was petitioning the government for a redress of grievances over the state flag. And so I stood up and I said, each of y'all, and I pointed to each of the Board of Alderman members and the mayor, and I said, each of y'all are a cultural Marxist if you choose to continue taking state funds from the state of Mississippi, your tax dollars, yet refuse to fly the state flag, which was voted in by the taxpayers. To me, that's a slap in the face, and a slap in the face to democracy and our constitutional republic, our way of voting. Okay? The taxpayers vote for something. You don't listen to it. If you choose to go about your own way, why are you taking taxpayer dollars? That was my issue. Okay? So because I called each of them a cultural Marxist, that was what they went off of. It was a joke on that injunction order. Tannehill is over there giving a sworn affidavit saying that I went to City Hall with a gun on my hip, and that I looked at her, and that I pointed at her with a gun on my hip. It was holstered. What's wrong with that? joke. She's an illegitimate mayor. She used what happened to me to help shield their crimes. And they still are. I mean, you look at the website, I've got, it's indisputable evidence. It's indisputable. The days, like, it's a joke. They had zero evidence for the charge they brought against me, that they made it where I could not get out, to defend myself, to show the bill of sale, all that. Wouldn't even let me speak in court, the bond here. Bill won't talk to me. Avent won't talk to me. Meanwhile, Bill said an accused rapist and kidnapper, the guy that kidnapped and raped the girl at Ole Miss, that multiple victims have come forward, as a joke. She set his bond at $20,000. $10,000 for each charge. $10,000 for the rape, $10,000 for the kidnapping. And that was less than a year after she set my bond at $150,000. Basically saying that a patriot, Marine Corps veteran, who kept a gun on his hip and fought for the state flag 7.5 times. You got deployed? No, I told you I was in a non-deployable squadron. So my squadron, we trained new pilots who came into the Marine Corps to fly the AV-8B Harrier, and they would get assigned to a gun squadron, go overseas and drop bombs in Iraq. What do you mean I fought? I fought for the flag as far as the state flag of Mississippi. I advocated for the state flag of Mississippi. Because, and it's not even about that flag. It's about the will of the people. And that's the thing. It's never been about Confederate history so much. It's been about constitutional rights. The Constitution. The will of the people.
Man, I'm not going to be rude to you. I'm just a little confused. Where exactly is the grievance? The statue, the flag, and the animal?
My grievance in general is socialism. Okay?
Well, this office, you don't have anything to do.
I understand that. But this office played an absolutely critical part in everything. I'll tell you what happened. I know what happened. It was Buddy. Okay? And unfortunately, I can't put Buddy on the stand because Buddy's gone. And that's one of the reasons why there needs to be term limits on government employees and elected officials. Because somebody that's been in office for 40-something years, okay, you can't say that he didn't have all the sway in the world.
Well, you spoke to your representative about term limits on elected officials?
No.
That'd be the route to go. Speak to your representative. We can't.
But no, it's not, but that's not the reason I'm here. The reason I'm here right now was because of Sleepy right there destroying evidence.
What evidence do you have that he destroyed evidence?
His statement to the Oxford Eagle in the newspaper article saying Major Alan Wilburn says there was no allegedly. It was, he stated that in fact. Okay, you stated in fact, you better have the evidence to back it up or else it's libel, it's slander, it's defamation, and it's under color of law. Not just personal.
I haven't seen the Oxford Eagle article, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
All you gotta do is just type in Matt Reardon Oxford, you know, and it's right there on the first page of Google.
You take it.
What?
God,
are you a joke? Did I make their newspaper article? I mean, think about what you're asking. You're trying to play the devil's advocate on my questions, but it doesn't even make sense what you're asking, man. Come on. I bet I'm not.
It don't make sense to me either. So you're saying a newspaper article stated that Alan Wilburn stated that he, in fact, did an alleged crime.
That I would drive by their place, so I want to know what kind of evidence he has to back the fact that I would drive by their place, their house. I don't even know where they live.
Well, that evidence will be available to you in the pre-trial phase via a motion of discovery.
I know that, however, but unfortunately, I was unlawfully kept in jail on a bond that would not be lowered for 6 weeks. They left me with no other option, I felt, but to plea out to get out to provide for my family because they would not give me a presumably innocent person. Because by the Constitution, all accused are innocent until proven guilty. So you have to assume that, regardless, until it's proven in court, a trial, that I'm innocent. Well, $150,000, I'd never been accused of a felony before. Never. I was not a criminal. So to keep me locked up on a $150,000 bond is morally unjustifiable.
You apply for a bond reduction?
Yes. And that's the thing. I need my calls from the jail. I told Joey that yesterday. He doesn't know if they're still available or not. Go figure. Like all the recorded calls. From inside of the, now all calls are recorded going out.
You might have to be an attorney.
No, I filed my own motions. I filed my own post-conviction relief. I filed my own motion of recusal, my own motion for rehearing, my own motion to compel evidence and preserve evidence. And a crooked judge wanted to call the motion to compel and preserve evidence moot. Why?
A recorded call?
My recorded calls? I mean, I can get a subpoena. I don't need a lawyer. I file my own legal filings. Yep. You ought to see my filings I got on file over at Circuit Court. Don't blow your mind. I just filed my motion to appeal to the Supreme Court. It was 7 pages long, and I freaking, the circuit judge, should have recused himself because of conflict of interest. He knew about all the fraud committed by Lafayette County. I sent it all in an email to his court administrator because I was looking for guidance on how to get a hearing, an evidentiary hearing. Sent it to Kathy Sturdivant. She passed it to Judge Luther. Judge Luther read through all the emails. He got back to her and said, let him know he has to go to the post-conviction relief method. So she replied to me and said, Judge Luther reviewed all your emails and said, in Mississippi, if you wish to challenge a plea or conviction, you have to do it via post-conviction relief. So I filed a post-conviction relief. I raised 6 meritorious reasons, including constitutional rights violations, that had occurred in order to seek an evidentiary hearing to present my evidence. He denied it. It's the same judge that also denied reducing my bond. I'm telling you, these people, if I didn't have the evidence to back up everything that I said, if I didn't document everything, then these people would be successful in calling me crazy. No doubt about it. The problem is, they're the crazy ones because I've got the evidence to back it all up. And they know that their walls are about to collapse if I get the Supreme Court to reverse and render on this.
All right. So what exactly do you want from the sheriff's office?
I want what the sheriff's office has been withholding from me. I want Alan Wilburn that knowingly said false statements to further destroy my reputation. I want the proof to back up his claim. If he has it, then it's not slander. It's not libel. It's not defamation. If he doesn't, he's got a problem. You cannot say that and say it under color of law about a presumably innocent person unless you have evidence to substantiate. And you know this. You don't know this.
Again, you got this in the pre-trial phase to a motion to discovery.
Once again,
I hear you.
Y'all have my head all fucked up with all this. Because I'm over there, I get blindsided by a crime that I did not nor could not have committed. In fact, there's no way I could have committed the crime. That's the crazy part.
But just think about this. Why, 3 years later, would we dig out evidence and give it to the alleged suspect for the crime? Why would we do that?
Because did you not take an oath to protect and serve, to uphold and defend the Constitution? My right as a citizen is to Everybody has the right to seek evidence, to obtain justice, to obtain vindication, especially in something like this where the proof has come out that not only am I innocent, but this has been a conspired upon plot. So why, in answer to your question, why? 3 years later, I'm within the window to overturn this. Why would y'all not have it? Is the question I would turn back around on the sheriff's department. Why would y'all not have something? The courts are instructed that in lack of evidence, they have to look at the matter in the way that's most favorable to the one bringing the action, the motion. So if the evidence is not there, if it's been destroyed or whatever, okay?
In terms of your, in terms
of the appeal to the Supreme Court. So I just put in the designation of record as far as what all I want. I just made the claim of prosecutorial misconduct against Mickey Mallett.
Okay. And you're waiting for the Supreme Court to get back, right?
The Supreme Court is either going to, I'm still in the phase of getting the record, approving the record before it gets transferred to the Supreme Court. They'll either take it on themselves or they will kick it to the Court of Appeals. Regardless, what I'm really appealing right here is the fact that I was denied an evidentiary hearing. I need to have a trial. They need to undo my guilty plea because of
given an opportunity for a trial, and you're given that opportunity. How you doing for a trial? And you pled guilty.
Don't come to me with that.
Is that not one?
Don't start with me on that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but you also know everything else around it, and exactly why. I've got a psychological report from a month and a half after I got out, where a psychologist is saying that I pled out under fear and duress, where I was coerced. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's funny that somebody's fucking life gets destroyed. You know what movie I think about? I think about Law-Abiding Citizen.
I'm actually wrong.
I think about Law-Abiding Citizen.
What you're talking about, but you need to consult.
I know the law.
Your own attorney, I guess you talk.
I am.
I don't know. I can't get it. I'm not going to talk all of it. Follow the steps that the Supreme Court has. The grievance you have, we can't address those. Now,
because I have legitimate reason to be here. That's the thing. I do. We can both agree to disagree on that.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. I think you ought to go to the Supreme Court and address your grievances that way, because they're not going to get solved. We're not going to go in there and pull out evidence from a case that's closed and somebody that pled guilty and bring you the evidence and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to bring to the table against you. We're not going to do that. And we don't sit here and reminisce.
So protect and serve. If I'm truly innocent, and there are, in fact, criminals that conspired against me to arrange this that I have proof of. The whole phrase protect and serve, why is it that I'm being denied ultimately the rights that everybody should have in making sure that the truly guilty parties are prosecuted? And the way to do that is through not obstructing when I have the evidence that substantiates everything that I'm saying. Protect and serve means protect and serve.
What evidence are you talking about?
Once again, go to my website, go to the, I've got all the proof of my innocence. I've got the guy that sold me the freaking gun that's willing to testify. I bought it on May 20th because my ex sent me a text message, a lengthy text message saying that she knew that somebody had intent on killing me. So I went and I bought an AR-15. I bought a bulletproof vest because I was ready to go full-blown militant on whoever came freaking wanted to cause harm to myself and my family, if need be. But I wouldn't engage until they, unless they actually posed a risk to me.
again, I think you need to go to the Court of Appeals, Supreme Court, go that route, because just coming up here hoping and hollering and getting loud and calling people cowards and stuff like that.
He is a coward.
It's not going to get you things to look on that.
Well, but he's neglecting his obligations and responsibilities that he.
We don't have an obligation or responsibility.
You do, and it's called protecting and serving.
Not over evidence on a closed case with alleged suspect.
Even if it's evidence that proves his innocence. Y'all, that's not protecting and serving. I'm sorry, but if that's actually truly the case, then I guess I'm at war with society.
They would not have.
Because this is treasonous.
They would not have collected as evidence to use against you.
They didn't have evidence. That's what I'm trying to show here. They have not a damn thing as evidence back there.
I thought that motion of discovery would have been great during the pre-trial phase before you pled guilty.
This is just a full-blown declaration of war.
Well, like I said, Matt, I got some paperwork I need to take care of. But that's my biggest issue. Talk to you, Court of Appeals, Supreme Court, go that route, and go from there. Cause you're really wasting your time up here. You know, if you want to report a crime, if you need extra control, somebody's trying to hurt you or do anything, we're more than happy to help you out. You know, but as far as turning the evidence on a closed case, you're not going to do that. Not to be alleged suspect, not without a court order.
I'm not going to stop.
I mean, I understand, but I'm just saying, be smart about it.
I'm going to say the same thing to the sheriff's department. Be smart about it. Don't violate my constitutional rights again. Because, you know, right now, they're lucky enough to be outside of the window, unless I were to. There's a couple of different ways that I can, you know, through the fraudulent concealment claim. But they violate my rights again. Trust me, I've studied up on the law. I know every single bit about the law, and I know exactly what all has been done to me from over the past 3 years. So, I mean, it would. I'm just gonna advise that you guys, you know, apply the law properly and evenly, and you know, don't buy into any corruption that's being passed down from, even if one of your supervisors, you know, that's the thing. This town is split down the middle. So is the courts politically, but this town is split, especially its departments, its agencies, to something that I call trickle down corruption. It's a moral dilemma because you take an oath to protect and defend, to uphold the Constitution, but then you get put into a dilemma, whether it be something passed through the board or the mayor that you know is not right, ethically, morally, and even goes against, you know, may go against constitutional rights of citizens, but you have no choice but to do it out of fear of retaliation, of being held, you know, of it coming against you if you don't. And I'm telling you, y'all are putting yourselves in a lot bigger harm's way by, you know, if you are following unconstitutional orders that are passed down and pressured. And I know it happens every day across this country in all kinds of different agencies. That's the problem, is it's getting out of hand. And there needs to be more people like me that are willing to stand up, that don't have fear when it comes to that. Truly, my only fear is the true criminals getting away with it. Other than that, I have none. Zero.
All right, I got some paperwork there. Okay? All right, man.
All right, Lee.
They call me the outlaw. When I got back to Oxford 4 or 5 months ago, saw Scott Mills. He said, "What's up, Keystone?" And then after Alan Wilbur came in, it was Kilo. I said, "No, they call me the outlaw. I'm a premonition motherfucker. Back to the streets, back to the bar, back to bowling, back to PS4, back to the jail, to the court, to the pen. And when I get to drink and start back over again, I'm going back to the streets, back to the bar, back to bowling, back to PS4, back to the jail, to the court, to the pen. And when I get to drink and start back over again, as I was sitting in my cell painful disappointment, couldn't see through my disguise. Keeping one eye in the mirror, try to keep from getting slammed. Always pressing forward and writing, cause I always go ham. Keep a sign of struggle, always on my left arm of the stand. I'm the rubber band man, not the I know I'm the man. Take your city, take your state, let you know just who I am. I'm the conniving conniver, Mr. Webster, you can say I'm going back to the streets, back to the bar, back to ballin', back to be a star, back to the jail, to the court, to the pen. And when I get to drink and start back over again, I'm going back to the streets, back to the bar, back to ballin', back to be a star, back to the jail, to the court, to the pen. And when I get to drink and start back over again, yeah. Behind bars, looking out, doing bedtime. It's my plan, man, I leave, gotta keep shining. I ain't gone forever, mama, quit crying. I'm a fighting believer now, I ain't dying. No arraignment to me, yeah, it take a while. And the shit I did, wish I could take it right. All the steps and ways, wish I could rewrite. And I'll be back on my feet, trying with my might. Trying to make them stack up to the ceiling. Man, you ain't never helped it stack since I held the feeling. Wow. Now bring it back. I lose my concentration when I think I'm going back to the streets, back to the farm, back to ballin', back to being smart, back to the jail, to the court, to the pen. And when I get to drinking, start back over again. I'm going back to the streets, back to the farm, back to ballin', back to being smart, back to the jail, to the court, to the pen. And when I get to drinking, start back over again, yeah. Oxford Outlaw, check 1, 2. I stole the mic, stole the stage, gave them back to you. See that chick on my left arm, she's something, dude. And that brother crossed the line, man, I'm sorry, dude. I got everything I got from doing what I do. I went from bottom to the top without help from you. I've been out the game for years, now I ain't new. I done did this shit and while not going harder, dude. Like I said back in 06, I go hard for money. Now why you all up in my shit? What you think I'm funny? You know conspiracy's a bitch, so quit talking, dummy. All the shit I put you through, yo, I'm sorry, mom.